Hello guys, I'm Milen. I am a member of the Shalom Catholic Community. I'm a disciple of the Covenant Community. And I currently live in Fortaleza, where we have our mother house, which is pretty much where the Shalom government is established. I've been living here for 2 years. I originally came from the mission of Toronto in Canada, but I am from Montreal, Canada. And so this video is to tell you a little bit about the path that led me here. So basically, even though I entered the community in Toronto, it is not where I met the community. I met the community while I was doing a student exchange in the south of Brazil. I participated in an event of the Charismatic Renewal, and people from Shalom were there, missionaries, animating, singing. A girl prayed for me. Basically, the charism was just very present, and I came out of that event completely in love at first sight with the community. I did not join a prayer group then because I already had another one from the university, but I did participate in 2 Life and Spirit seminars, one which is a youth camp called Acamps, and the other one which is the carnival retreat called Reviver. And I had a strong experience with the charism. I came back to Canada with the charism very still alive in my heart, but the conditions were not the best because I lived 7 hours away from the nearest mission, which was Toronto. I did not see myself living in Toronto, and neither did I see myself entering Life Community. And also God was confirming that through a series of events in my life related to my studies. I had a student debt, and you cannot enter the community with a student debt. Anyways, I did keep on being linked to the charism through the book Be Filled, which is the Bible study that we do after the Life and Spirit seminar. And so basically that kept me connected through the charism, and that kept that thirst that I had for the charism alive. On another side, I participated in the World Youth Day because I recorded the song for my diocese, and I decided to send it alongside to the organizer of the event of the World Youth Day, because they have this youth festival where they invite artists. And so they invited me to sing, and I think God used that to basically remind me of the experience I'd had in Brazil. And through that World Youth Day, I came out of there finally admitting that I needed to do vocational, because all along people had been telling me, you need to do vocational, and I was like, no, I'm not in a mission, etc. I didn't want to do that at a distance. But coming out of the World Youth Day, I had more and more barriers. I could no longer resist to the call that God was screaming to me all this time, So basically, after that, I started being accompanied at a distance, and eventually I entered the vocational at a distance. And at the half of the vocational, more or less, it became obvious, and also got confirmed through the convention in Rome for the 35 years of the community, that it was time for me to take the big step and move to Toronto. So I moved to Toronto, finished the vocational year, and sent my letter as Covenant Community. I was accepted, and so I stayed in Toronto, worked there. I started being involved in the ministries. I became the pastor of the youth. As the pastor of the youth, I was asked to do a group to go to the World Youth Day in Panama. So I tried to do that. I was able to bring 2 young adults to the World Youth Day with me. They were, one of them was just going to Panama. The other one I was able to convince to come with me to the first part, which is the missionary week in Costa Rica. That's where Shalom was being invited to spend the missionary week, and I was receiving a strong call of going to serve there. So I went there and I convinced this other guy who's from there and living in Toronto to come with me and with this other girl. And so we were 3 there. And in Costa Rica, I was invited to animate the Hallelujah Festival. The Hallelujah Festival here in Fortaleza is one of the biggest arts festival in Latin America, probably the biggest Catholic festival in the world. And at each World Youth Day, we always have a smaller version there. So I animated the Hallelujah there. I met for the first time all the people who live here in Fortaleza now, the people that I pretty much live with. So that's our founder, that's people from the general government, Missionnary Shalom, the band that I'm currently a part of. I met them there. We had a few interactions, nothing really deep, nothing really, that was foreseeing what was to come. And so I went back to my mission after that, continued my life. And after 4 months, I was invited by my local responsible to have a chat. And there he started talking about mission, about the music ministry, about God's plans for me. And I was like, okay, is he talking about the music ministry here? Because we just had this reunion the day before. And eventually he ended with, Gustavo from Missionnary Shalom wants to invite me to join the band. And I was like, you're kidding, right? I didn't believe it. And he said, no, I'm serious. And I was like, oh my God. I said yes, spontaneously. And then that's only later on did I realize the actual consequences. Now I was going to leave my job. I had just gotten a new position in my job. I needed to leave everything that I'd earned, that I had worked hard for, my apartment, my sheep, because I was the shepherd of the group. So I had this long process of letting go of all of that. And eventually, 2 months later, I was here in Fortaleza to start my mission. One of the particularities of my mission is that about 6 months into my mission, the pandemic started. And so I went from touring and doing all sorts of shows with Missionnary Shalom to evangelizing online, just like the whole community started doing. I believe in the United States, they started doing that too in Boston, because that's all we had, right? So the shows were online, a lot of lives on Instagram, on YouTube, we were invited to a lot of these lives. And so only now are we starting to go back out there, do shows again. I actually ask for your prayers for this new time. And basically, just to conclude, I just want to tell you guys that God's ways is not something that you can plan. It's not something that you can do your own way and sort of expect God to adapt to your plans. God is very surprising. God is very providing. Everything that He asks from you, He will provide. Whether He asks you to move to be able to join the community, whether He asks you to join the life community, He will never ask something that you cannot fulfill, right? So at the end of the day, it's a question of trusting Him and just giving your humble yes and allowing Him to do the rest. So I will be praying for you guys, for your vocational, and take care. Shalom.